So as we sit here enjoying the bye week, as the 49ers so richly deserve for the type of season they had, I started to take a look at just how badly injured this team is and how they still managed to finish with a 13-3 record. I want you to listen to some of these names that I have here just to let you know how lacking in talent we are, and yet still we're able to come away with a division title. As of now, Kwon Alexander, Ronald Blair, Marquise Goodwin, Jalen Hurd, DJ Jones, Jerick McKinnon, Demontre Moore, Trent Taylor, Julian Taylor, Jason Verrett, Weston Richburg. Now, I'm only naming guys that are, that have contributed or have contributed in the NFL. And that's a pretty big list. I think the 49ers have 16 players on IR right now, which is a little less than we've had. We had 21 go on IR last year. So that's a pretty big number. And even through all that, we managed to have a 13-3 record and the first seed in the NFC. So I started looking at all that and thinking, how good we would be if we had a full squad. Guys like Jalen Hurd and Trent Taylor with the receiving core we have now and how well they played, imagine those two guys inserted into it. It'd be amazing. Some good news has come out of all this, though, and that is that Kwon Alexander has been placed. He has been the second player pulled from IR. You get two options for that during the season. He was the second one. The first one was Contavious Street, and now the second one being Kwon Alexander. J.J. Watt suffered the same injury, torn pec. I don't know if it was a week before Kwon Alexander, and he has been returned to practice and is on pace to play. And same thing with Kwon Alexander. If the 49ers were to win their game in 2 weeks, or a little less than 2 weeks, and made it to the NFC Championship game, they would have Kwon Alexander. And that would be a huge morale boost for the 49ers defense. If you watch a lot of interviews in the locker room, a lot of players say he's like the heartbeat of the defense as far as his hype and his physicality and what he brings to that defense. So having someone like him, it's almost like a free agent pickup in the playoffs. And then hopefully, possibly, I want to keep my fingers crossed. Jaquiski, Tartt, and D Ford. D Ford is something though that his situation is a little different than Jaquiski, Tartt, and Kwon Alexander, because he came from Kansas City last year with injury concerns, and the Niners forked over a second-round pick for him and signed him to a big, big deal. And they protected him, they monitored his snap count, and yet through most of the year he's been nicked and injured. And for me, if this continues into next year and this becomes an ongoing problem, as I think it might, that's a bad deal. When he's on the field, is he a difference maker? Absolutely. Him and Nick Bosa together is a nightmare for defenses, or offenses, excuse me. But your best ability is availability, and he hasn't been available this last half of the year through some of our biggest games too. And it's showed. The defense has taken a major step back, has regressed horribly. Just look at the scores from the first half of the year and then compare them to the last 6 games. Yes, I know that the competition level was a lot higher, but him not being there, coupled with Kwon and Jaquiski Tartt, and even a guy like Ronald Blair. Ronald Blair, I don't think people realize how important Ronald Blair's contribution is. He was a integral piece of that pass rush early in the year. They had it coming from everywhere. To have a guy like that come off the bench on pass rush downs is amazing. And to not have that right now, it's definitely showing. So hopefully we can get D Ford back. Tartt back there would be a huge plus. Him in the secondary, his ability to make calls and get guys in the right position is huge. And that'll be definitely something to look for next week. It's right now the 49ers are getting extra practices in, and I've been following closely. And, right now it's just about getting guys rest and getting guys more time practicing. And with that being said, guys that have been injured or guys that have been nicked up all year are getting a chance to get a little bit of a break. You got to think about the Niners bye week was in week 4, which was in the last week in September. So they went on a huge stretch of games without any time off. And I think a lot of their injuries came from that. A lot of people are saying that, a lot of 49er pundits. So they know better than me, so I'm going to take their word for it. But this week, having this week off was so important for this team and for them to clinch the West and being able to capture the bye week was a huge get. And I think it'll serve them well, hopefully. They still got to go out and play games, and they still got to go out and beat whoever's in front of them, being whether it's Minnesota, Seattle, or Philadelphia. And that's what lies before them. So hopefully all these guys can come back and contribute. The one I'm really looking for, again, is D. Foward. I have my questions about him, like I said. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. I'm nobody. I know that. I'm just a fan. But for the amount of money they paid and the draft capital that they gave up, let's see if he can get back on the field and be a part of this defense going forward. Because, like I said, when he's on the field, he contributes. He's a difference maker. It allows Bosa to be one-on-one. Sometimes they even got a slide protection D. Ford's way because of how fast he gets off. So it'll be a wait-and-see thing. The Niners still have another week before they play a game. So we just got to sit and wait, watch these wild card games this weekend, which will be awesome, as we don't have a horse in the race. So we could just watch and be a fan and not have to worry about, the 49ers playing, and see who we're going to play next week. And then probably sometime next week, I'll make another video kind of previewing that game and hopefully have an injury update on the players that we talked about. All right, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to make a quick video on that. And for all people that have clicked on the video or the new subscribers, thank you for helping me build a small YouTube channel. I'm just a guy making videos about his team that he loves. It's a tough world out in YouTube. There's some really great channels with a lot of great content, and I'm just out here babbling. So for you guys to subscribe to my channel and even interact with me, I appreciate it. All right, I'll talk to everybody later. See ya.